Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Meisel. I'm your professor this semester for U.S. History Survey Part 1. And I'm just making a quick video because I do videos that you are required to watch as part of our course. It's a very short one, but it's just something to kind of give you a sense of what you should be expecting to see. I don't have them all created way ahead of time. It's not something that I've always done. So it is something that I'll be throwing up as the semester goes on, okay? But at least for the first video here, I wanted to do two things. Some of you may not yet have purchased your textbooks when you watch this. I did want to show those to you. First one that you will need is Give Me Liberty. This is Eric Foner's textbook. I do want to point out the edition so that you can see this is his new 5th edition. It's called the Seagull edition. I have no idea why they call it that, but they do. It's green. It is volume 1, 5th edition Seagull. So if you are getting it from Amazon or eBay or Overstock.com or something else, that is totally fine. Get your book now. You cannot wait 6 weeks, okay? You need your books immediately because you need to start reading immediately. I don't photocopy half the book for students. I'm sorry, but you kind of got to buy it. That will kind of defeat the purpose of the author writing it. Occasionally, I do copy out, things from old texts, but not the newest edition of a book. I try to get a good deal on them and have the library, or have the bookstore carry a discounted set, because you do need a second book, and that is Voices of Freedom. This is a documentary reader, meaning while the previous book that I showed you, the green one, is a textbook, this one is actually just a collection of primary documents from the time period that we are studying. So it's letters from soldiers in the Civil War, speeches by Thomas Jefferson, sermons from colonial preachers, slave narratives in the early 19th century. It's all different kinds of documents that we're going to be looking at, because history is not just what I say it is what other people from that time period actually said. History is a story about people and what they went through, what they go through, and it is worthwhile to look at it from their perspective. Okay, so that was thing one, was make sure you have the 5th edition. It does matter, especially for the reader, but the 5th edition of Eric Foner's Give Me Liberty and the 5th edition of Voices of Freedom. It's the Seagull edition of Give Me Liberty, and both of them, it's volume 1. There is a volume 2. You'll use that if you ever take me for U.S. History Part 2, the sort of second part of the survey here. Okay, so please, get your books immediately. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say about textbooks. I don't believe so. You probably are sitting there going, wow, this guy is wearing a white t-shirt and looks like he needs a shave and whatnot. And yeah, I'm not really formal about these kinds of videos, all right? If you're looking for a dog and pony show, go somewhere else. That's what the movie theater's here for. I'm here to give you information and have you think about stuff. I'm just recording this on my cell phone, sitting at the desk in my living room. Sometimes I record these on my front porch. Sometimes I record them in the drive on the way to school. I just kind of set my phone up on my dashboard. Anyway, regardless, these are something that you're going to have to watch. Usually they're around 20 minutes long. And you can catch them. They're all on YouTube, so you can catch them on your cell phones, on your laptops, on your tablets, or you can go home and watch them on your desktop or whatever. But anyway, so that was point 1, was about the books. Point 2 was just about you're going to have to watch these videos. And point 3 of this sort of short video here is make sure that you are reading your syllabus, because you will notice if you read your syllabus that there is a syllabus quiz in week 2 of our course, and that is a part of your grade. Actually, it goes into making up the quiz portion of your grade, which is only 10%, but still that could be the difference between an A and a B. So by all means, do read your syllabus, paying particular attention to like how you're graded, what is academic dishonesty, you know, that kind of stuff. What is my attendance policy? You know, what happened, you know, what's my policy on personal electronics, or, you know, those kinds of things. Just pay attention to all of that, okay? You know, also might be useful to know, like, you know, when are my office hours? You know, or might be useful to know things like, when does the class begin in terms of like time period, not when do we meet, but like what years are we covering, you know, just those kinds of things. Have a sort of basic sense of what's going on there, and you'll do fine. Just as a note about the quizzes, and I'll talk about this when I go over the syllabus during class, I'm sure, but my quizzes are stupidly easy. They are designed to show me if you have read the material. If you read what I told you to read, you should have no problem. I have never had a student who faithfully read do badly in my class because of quizzes. It just doesn't happen. What I have had is students who have said, well, I did really badly on your quizzes. And I said, well, were you there for them? Well, no, I always came into class 10 minutes late. Well, that would explain it then. Because I almost always give the quizzes right at the very beginning of class. And part of that is to be a penalty for people who can't show up on time. You know, or I've had students who just say, oh, I just didn't do the reading. You know, so, well, then you shouldn't expect to do well on the quiz. Why would you expect that? You know, so you should expect a quiz more often than not. At least, you know, most weeks you'll have one, right? That's just the way it goes. And a lot of times there'll be 2 or 3 quick questions, sometimes multiple choice, a lot of times a short answer, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, like name one of the major women who was involved at the Seneca Falls Convention. You know, name one major anti-slavery activist in the 1700s. And we will, you know, you will have read about that. It will have been there. You should have taken note of that, which kind of goes along with just in general, when you're doing your readings, I would encourage you to take notes on what you read, because when you're doing your readings, there will be that sort of big picture that you're getting from the textbook. And then I'm going to try to fill in a lot of the details with specific stuff, much of which isn't even in your textbook. So with that, I will sign off. It is the middle of July, and I'm done thinking about these classes for the fall in this time frame. I'm going to enjoy a couple days of vacation now that I'm done writing up your syllabi and making this video. So you have a good one, and I will catch up with you by the time you see this. I'll catch up with you shortly. Bye-bye.